This is not on the news because it looks kind of trivial, but it's one of those things that keeps me up at night. So Donald posted 8 memes on Sunday with the same text, Trump 2028. Not 1, not 2, but 8 of them. I don't even know if it was a strategy or just dementia, but posting 8 similar memes in one day, promoting a message that's clearly unconstitutional, what does it mean? Now, stop telling me it was a joke. The definition of a joke is that it makes at least some people laugh. Who's getting cracked up by those? Liberals certainly won't laugh, but conservatives won't laugh either after seeing the same shit so many times. I'm not the best comedian on TikTok, but I know something about jokes. Call these whatever you want, but they ain't jokes. They're way too repetitive. If I have to guess, they are actually declarations. I said last week that Trump only has 15 months left to finish his coup because whoever wants to be the next president will have to file for candidacy by October 2027. So if he wants any chance to stay in power, he has to nip the Republican presidential primaries in the bud before the candidates submit their names. Everything he does at this point basically points to that one objective. So by posting those memes, as well as mentioning it in the White House Correspondents' Dinner and some other occasions, he was declaring to other Republicans, not just J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, but all of them, that he does not want to see them running for president. I'm still here. If you little shits want to replace me, I'm gonna fuck you up. That threat is real. I can guarantee you that any Republicans who dare to indicate their presidential ambition too early will immediately be crucified on Twitter, Truth Social, and Fox News. Because the earlier you make the announcement, the earlier you will chip away the attention that belongs to the supreme leader, and the less time he will have to conduct the coup. Can you imagine a worse betrayal in the eyes of MAGA comrades and Gen 6ers? They're gonna siege your goddamn house, to say the least. So the little chicken shits like Vance and Rubio definitely won't start their campaign until it's close to the deadline. Until then, Trump's entire focus will be how to find loopholes and excuses to kill the presidential primaries. Every policy from this moment on will serve that one and only purpose, whether it's war or domestic oppression or threatening Greenland or rigging the midterms or posting memes. Everything will be centered on creating a context to disrupt the next presidential election. Of course, he also wants to maintain some kind of deniability. That's why he made the announcement in the form of memes and jokes. So if people start getting in the streets, he can say, look at these snowflakes, no sense of humor. But if people ignore him, later he will be like, see, American people approved my plan. I should stay. Either way, he'll play the smartass. Very annoying. As I said before, I don't have an idea how to deal with this shit. This is uncharted territory. American institutions weren't designed to contain a clown. The founders like James Madison expected politicians that are too ambitious, too greedy, or too arrogant, but they did not expect a total bitch-ass clown who has no sense of dignity whatsoever. I mean, self-coups are not uncommon in history. That term, by the way, refers to an event where an elected leader makes himself a permanent ruler. Those normally happen in countries that just started to have elections, because in those countries the rules of power alternation are not yet consolidated into a legal and cultural equilibrium. So Trump's ongoing coup is unique in the way that he's trying to append a centuries-long political process just by making a bunch of knuckleheads worship him. That's a bold move, you have to give him that. Of course, most experts don't believe he will succeed. I don't think he has a good chance either, but considering how high the stakes are, even small chance can really damage my sleep quality. There's a theory floating on the internet that the tech bros and the shadowy figures behind the Heritage Foundation have big plans for J.D. Vance. Well, that would actually make me feel better, because Donald is a guy who would not tolerate any plan that's not centered on him. So if the tech bros don't support his personal coup against the term limit, the GOP infighting will become pretty ugly. Or maybe I should say beautiful, depending on where you stand. What worries me most is not their plan for Vance, but the possibility that they decide to unite around Trump's coup and persuade Vance and Rubio to get on board. A united coup is much scarier than a divided succession fight. So I pray for the latter.